How's it going, everyone? I am Eurasian Raven, and this is the follow-up to the openings that I did the other week for the new and upcoming Sealed Only series, because I originally wanted to do Adamantipator Sealed Only, but after pulling this guy and no researcher, I thought to myself, sod it. I was actually more keen on building Eldritch before Adamantipator, and well, now look at it. But I actually wanted to build Eldritch more as a control deck in comparison to what it's being used as currently. And of course we've got the Shaddolls right here. I have been theorizing of what may be a good idea for the Sealed Only Shaddol. I have seen that the going second OTK strategy is still a thing, but it can be used as a going first strategy as well to set up a really aggro annoying board. So I need to understand and learn the combos of it a little bit more, because with the cards that I have at the moment, it's only a skeleton of what its accomplishment may become, because I had to look at a lot of deck profiles with this, and I thought to myself after finding one that this is more or less the build I was originally going for, so I might as well just root back to this, because when quarantine happened I thought to myself, oh lord, this is going to be a pain in my ass. And if you saw my in regards videos, you would understand where I was going with this. But now Sealed Only is coming back for my channel after quarantine. Just keep that in mind, after quarantine. That opening was just a one-off, primarily because I was anticipating Secret Slayers to the utmost of degree, but I'm here to say that this is what's going to be happening. The follow-up Sealed Only is going to be a Sealed Only deck race. Now, my previous goal was to attend a regionals with the Shaddol Sealed Only. That's still the goal with this deck, but now there's an additional goal in mind for my Sealed Only now. I have to get a first, second, or third place top at my locals with either one of these decks. Now, the reason why I'm putting myself that kind of goal is because if I decide to go for two separate regionals with these two decks, it will be a pain in my ass just to try and find the nearest regionals to me simultaneously and just do that. Plus, with constant ban lists roaming around a corner at any given time, there's a high chance that this will get hit, and a moderate chance that this will get hit. The invoked engine for this will definitely get hit, I'm gonna guarantee that, but for the Shaddol aspect, nah, like, it's mainly just the Invoke stuff that's mainly being focused on what's being brought out, but Shaddol stuff is just primarily an engine. But, Invoke's being used in both of these. Definitely Invoke's going to get hit more than either one of these two. So, with that being said, I will say one more thing as well. There's going to be a new intro for the Sealed Only that I have in mind. I just need to get my ass down and actually do it, because I'm actually looking forward to doing this one. I was originally going to do something with Photoshop, but after realizing that it's that I'm not good at it and I can't find anyone who is good at it, I thought to myself, I might as well just go for something kind of unique to myself. Anyways, I'm just going to shut up and explain what I'm going to show you guys. These are two separate decks for the Sealed Only. I got myself a drink on standby because I know I'm going to be talking a lot, but this is what's going to happen for the Sealed Only. So, starting off with the Shaddol aspects, for the Shaddol Sealed Only deck, we have two Wendy. There have been builds that have run 3 Wendy, but for the aspects of what's going to be happening in this deck, you're going to be blasting through Wendy almost immediately within your first few turns, and that might sound like a pretty weird reasoning, but the rationale is that sorry, the rationale is that you're going to be running out of Shaddolls in your deck far faster than you originally expect. With both this and Squamata, you want to make sure you have a decent control of it, so we have to play 3 of one and 2 of the other. And Shaddol Squamata won the Battle of 3, primarily because the foolish effects of the Shaddolls are far better than the flip effects. Because there's only, you only ever see one Shaddoll being brought out with Wendy, and it's blatantly obvious to see why you run that card as a one-off. One Beast, the draw aspect of him is just ridiculous regardless. I want to be playing 2, but the going second aspect of this deck is just huge, and we can't afford to run more than 1. Dragon helps get rid of some early back row, and Hedgehog also adds stuff to hand. We also have Falco and Ariel. Everyone knows the combo that Ariel does, and everyone knows what Falco is also capable of. We also at the same time got the one Armageddon Knight just to dump any dark monster to the graveyard, which is great for starting up and facilitating the plays with Squamata, and as well at the same time Beast. Following along that, we are also running 3 copies of a Mathematician. Now, if you're not running very many foolish copies for the deck, then trust me when I say this, you are playing Shaddoll's completely wrong. That is to say, if you're running the pure variants. If you're running the invoked variants, then you need to have a controlled aspect of the engine itself. But for pure, you need to make sure you have as much foolishness as possible, because literally the Shadoll deck, excuse me, the Shadoll deck relies most on its graveyard setup and the cause effects that can happen in the graveyard. So you need to make sure you have as many foolishness as possible. Now, this is where the deck is going to get a little bit weird, and that's mainly because of the fact that I forgot. So, in the 4 Megatins that I have opened, I do recall pulling Dangers. The problem is, though, is that we need 3 of Danger Mothman, but I can't remember how many of them I pulled, and I cannot remember which one of the bigger Dangers that I pulled. I can't remember whether it was Thunderbird, can't remember whether it was Bigfoot, and I cannot remember if it was Nessie. So for the time being, this is going to be the ratio. If somebody is willing to go back and list me the Dangers that I have pulled, thank you. And afterwards, this is where part 1 of our hunt for completing this deck is going to start, with the other Danger Mothmans. Now, with the other Dangers at the moment, they're doable as well, but Mothman is in here mainly because he helps dig through the deck, and as well at the same time, the draw 1, discard 1 effect also helps with the Shaddolls as well, because that's a Dark World Dealings effect, which works as an all-in-one for the Shaddolls as well. To carry on with this is the Perform Mage Damage Juggler, which part 2 of this field only is going to be hunting down 2 more of this guy. We need 3 in order to complete this deck, because, oh boy, if you thought 1 was enough, you're doing it all wrong, because this card can save you ridiculously well, as well as the Perform Mage Trick Clown. Trick Clown is just in here primarily because he's a good rank 4 enabler, and he can do so much with the deck, needless to say. Going on to other aspects of the deck, we are running the 2 Gamma-Seal. Gamma-Seal is in here just to out problematic monsters for the time being in the meta. He's going to be swapped out for Lava Golem, but there's another reason why he's in this deck. There's a certain monster that we can bring out in the extra deck that we pulled from the Secret Slayers that we could actually use as assisting fuel for negation fodder for him. We're also running the double DD Crow, because going second and having this in your opening hand when your opponent is starting off with the combos helps out tremendously. This guy does so much. Following along with the spell cards for this, we are running the Triple Shaddol Fusion. You don't need to be a genius while you're running this card. This card is just so fucking broken. And with card effects that pretty much say negate the activation and destroy it, if you open 2 of these, this is the perfect beta card, because your opponent has to negate the activation of this as soon as possible. Then you just slap down the second copy, and then they're thinking to themselves, how the fuck do I get around this? Now, without Emancipators, I have another thing planned just to get around this, because I know they'll bring out Nat Beast. In fact, I really should have put it in my side extra deck sooner, but beggars can't be choosers. We're also running the triple copies of El Shaddol Fusion, because this card can facilitate the very fast OTK plays and can just start you off ridiculously well. It's just so good at what this card can do. Helping it as well is for triple super polymerizations. Now with DD Crows, we are going to have to hunt down a 3rd Dual Devastator, just so that we can get a 3rd copy, but at the same time I wouldn't mind rarity bumping a 3rd Super Poly. But regardless, the Super Poly plays have been moved up to 3, primarily because it is disgusting. The amount of times that you can open this, slap down, cry out the world, and just bring out Starving Venom or anything else that can be a Super Poly target, this card is just ridiculous. Facilitating that for going second aspect, we have 2 Dark Rule No Mores. I'm not sure if these are going to remain in the deck or not. I can't remember if these are in the deck or not, but these are really good halters for the deck regardless. Just saying no to even something like Nat Beast so that you can continue with your Shaddol plays is just ridiculous. Now with the draw aspect of the deck, we're running the Pot of Avarice and 1 Upstart Goblin. I should really do this actually. Pot of Avarice just refreshes your entire deck, and not just main deck, extra deck as well. So, with Pot of Avarice just facilitating all those cards, it's a godsend. And Upstart Goblin is just a filler card. This is going to be card destruction whenever we get our hands on it, so I'm going to be hoping that I can find either a cheap deal of the Gates of Darkwold structure deck, or any place that has OTS 8, I think, that had card destruction, so that I can pretty much swap this out for card destruction. So pray for me. We're also having ourselves a Foolish Burial. Like I said, you need as many of these as possible, and with Armageddon Knight, Mathman, and this, you're doing it right. We also got our Monster Reborn, just because, and finally the 2 Red Shadow Incarnations, just to bolster up our endgame. So, that is the aspect of the Shadow main deck. Just gonna mix everything up and pop this on top. For the extra deck, it's very, very simple, because we're running the just kidding. Running the free El Shaddai construct. Whoops! The free El Shaddai construct. My stomach just growled like a fucking dragon then for a sec. I swear, if my camera actually got that, I'm gonna be so fucking embarrassed. Anyways, the triple construct. She is another Foolish for Shaddals, but she Foolishes any of the Shaddai cards. You'd be clueless not to abuse her effect, but the most aggravating aspect of her effect is that she states when this card is special summoned. Plus, at the same time, for both her destruction on special summon monsters and her special summon mill effect, that is not a hard once per turn. I don't think I need to explain why that is possibly one of the most broken things out there at the moment. She is just amazing through and through. Complementing her, we have Double Winder. I love the secret rare, but I prefer this art. Winder is just a great lockdown card. As soon as your opponent just starts activating cards, like, for instance, Adamancer Researcher, she literally activates in hand. She announces her arrival before dropping down on the board. If you have El Shaddai Fusion set down whilst going first and you flip it up, you literally slap her on the board and that's it. The Adamancer player has to stop there. I can't express on how powerful this card is, and as well as App Clone at the same time. She is in here because, oh boy, she can do so much. She's a battle safety net, for starters, with 2000 defense, which is already good in amongst itself, but at the same time, she's also a negator, which, as well at the same time, is phenomenal. But one final thing about her is that when she's sent to the graveyard regardless, you get to add a Shaddai card from your graveyard or deck to hand, then discard a card from your hand to the graveyard. That's an effect. It triggers everything of a Shaddai's. So, making a grand financial return, well, not financial, but a grand magnum opus return is Shaddai Construct. Construct is actually pretty easy to get out, because the more I thought about the combos, the more I thought to myself, I can actually bring out more of the Shaddai monsters in the Shaddai archetype, face up, and then go into this and start fusion summoning. It's stupid what she can do. And we also have a 1 Boral Sword just to ensure that we have easy access of OTKing. And Borrowlord is just a peacekeeper for the time being. He is not going to remain in this deck. Neither is Topologic Bomber Dragon. And the reason why these two are in here is because one of them is going to be an IP Masquerade, no, pray for me, and the other one is going to be a Avamax. So, the Mech Knight Crusadia Avamax. So, these two are going to be swapped out, and another Super Poly target is going to be swapped out for Apollosa, which shouldn't be too hard, because I think she has got an announced reprint coming out sometime soon. I may be horribly wrong in that department, but oh well. Regardless, we still got our 1 Cross Sheep. Really, really happy that we pulled this. And now we're coming into the interesting aspects, because we have our 1 Adamancer Dragite, Ryzen Dragite. So, allow me to just take a quick sip, and I'll explain to you why he's in here. Dragite is stupid. He is literally ludicrous. As soon as you slap down that Gamma Seal, get it off the board with either him or Construct, because this guy is like a fucking joke to get out. You use 2 Shaddai monsters to bring out Apollon, and you use Falco to pretty much go into two Shadow monsters with different attributes, of course. Then use Falco to go into this guy. You already have your negation on board, because as soon as you stomp over the Gamma Seal, that's it. This guy is already ready and waiting on board with a negation. Once more as well is the fact that Ariel is a water monster. And she can bring this guy... She can actually act as this guy's negation. Like, I don't get why you wouldn't run her. As well at the same time is Abyss Dweller. Abyss Dweller is another water in this deck. I may be stretching it too much with this guy, but I can't stress enough on how good this guy is. Just damn well ludicrous. I'm actually contemplating on throwing in Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood, just to make sure that this guy's negation is more facilitated, because, oh my god, this guy is fucking nuts. Just to round things up as well, we have our Antagonista and Starving Venom. One of these guys is going to be swapped out for Appaloosa, but I don't know which one to actually go for. So, I'm not going to go over the side decks, because the side deck for the Shaddoll is a work in progress, and so is the Eldritch. But just as a quick glimpse, this is a draft side deck. Ash, Bell, Border, Meteor, Control, Called, Twins, Reboot. Like I said, I'm not going to be going over it, it's just a draft, so we are going to skip that and go to the Eldritch sealed only. So, of course you may be thinking to yourselves, well, you're going to need more Golden Lords, right? Yes, I'm going to attempt to just get one more, because I think I'll be more than happy with just 2 Eldritch Lords, because like I said, I'm building this more as a control aspect. I don't need the heavy aggro 3 of this guy. In fact, I'd say out of the 2, this one's the closest being to completed, because it just needs one more, but having more Floodgates would be amazing for this card, so for this deck, sorry. So let's get into it. We're running the 1 Golden Lord, because it's the only one I've pulled so far. The 1 Pankratops. Pankratops is just a phenomenon card to start popping things and to make things clear on the board. Ghost Ogre. This is a wonderful control card, because as soon as the matchup comes and you realise what deck you're actually going up against, if it's Adamancipate and they just drop down the field spell, as soon as they activate the field spell, you just ditch the Ghost Ogre, they can't do anything else. If it's something like Dinosaurs and they drop something like Dragonic Diagram, they want to blow something up? No, Ghost Ogre. If it's something like, oh, I don't know, like just anything else that has a continuous field spell, you just drop this and it says no. We're also running double Effect Veiler. Now, Ash Blossom is being replaced with Effect Veiler, primarily because of the simple purposes is that Ash Blossom actually targets the monster that she needs to negate, whilst Effect Veiler targets a monster that she has to negate, whilst Ash Blossom has to negate the current one that has been activated. With decks like Dinos running around chain blocking everything, this card does not. So if your opponent is playing Dinos and you do see an opportunity to stop their Oviraptor, you drop this on the Oviraptor even if they're chain blocked by Lost World, because Lost World can't chain block Effect Veiler, because this is like infinite impermanence. To continue on with this, we are running 2 Elixir of Black Awakening. Now, the interesting thing about this is that if I have Pankratops in my hand already, I can just drop him, use his effect, blow up whatever my opponent has, and then proceed forward with whatever else I have left. The 2 Elixir Awakenings. This is where things get very fascinating, because the Elixir spells that summoned our Goldie Boy state that after their activation, that is when you're only allowed to summon nothing but zombie monsters for the remainder of a turn. This has no regards for us, because we could just simply use this guy, use our hand traps, blow up, and just continue along from there. We also have double of the Cursed Eldland. Eldland is Scout in multiple assets of its effect. You don't need to be a genius to know what this card does, because it just searches everything. it does everything. As well, at the same time, we're running triple copies of Elixir of White Destiny. This is amazing. I don't need to explain why this is amazing. Just a card that lets you special summon out your Goldie Boy during your opponent's turn from your hand or graveyard. Oh boy, I'm actually thinking of cutting this down to 2 and having the Black Awakening at 3, but still, this is a powerful card nonetheless. 1 Upstart Goblin. It's in here as a draft, but it's good to just start drawing. This, though, will be cut, but the only reason why I'm running this is because of the Elixir of Destiny. Believe it or not, that's it for the monsters and spells. Because yes, we do have a lot of extra deck stuff. We have our Elixir Scarlet Sangrity, 3 of them. Because this card is pretty much a trap version of White Destiny, but White Destiny cannot summon out from the deck. This can, which makes it all the more powerful just to do so. It's going to make it even more powerful when we pull our second Goldie Boy, which is going to make it absurdly more effective in the future. We also have 3 copies of the Conquistador of a Golden Land. Now, I should really mention something about the traps. During the opening, I did pull a plethora amount of trap tricks, so I was going to put that in, but then I remembered that trap tricks only sets normal traps, so that's the reason why we can't run trap tricks along with all of this. So if there's something that feels like it's missing, there's your answer. We're also running 3 of Hakuorder of the Golden Land, because what Hakuorder does is that he is a DD Crow as well. So just having him banishing things from the opponent's graveyard and having the Conquistador destroying things on the field is just amazing. There's also Guardian of a Golden Land. He's in here for the name and because he's another body. But all he does really is attack modulation. He's not really that good. If you ask me, this card was more deserving of the secret rarity than Guardian of a Golden Land, because this card is an Omni negate by just simply tributing a zombie monster. That's it. We are also running 3 copies of Solemn Judgment. Now, I am really grateful that this got reprinted in the Secret Slayer set, but even with that being said, I would have been more than happy to pull this more from Relentless Revenge, which is where we're going to be getting all of our other trick clowns. But regardless, Omni negates like this and Solemn Strike are perfect for this control strategy. Yeah, we're going with a very control-heavy strategy with this deck. As well with Lost Wind, which in amongst itself is already a powerful card. Let's not lie about that. If you don't think Lost Wind is a powerful card, something's wrong with you. So, some of you may be wondering if I'm going to be getting that trap card that came out recently. What the hell is on there? That trap card that came out recently that acts similar to Lost Wind, but for extra deck monsters, my answer is no, primarily because of 2 reasons. Reason number 1, that it works on extra deck monsters, this works on special summoned monsters, so any special summoned monster as a whole. Even something like Balderoch, which I really hope I pronounced that name correctly, otherwise Artist with a Throw is going to be strangling me in the comments, literally, is a special summon monster and can be affected by this card. And finally, at the same time, double anti-spell Fragrance. This is amazing for this deck. We're going to be setting the spell cards for the most part, or preemptively activating them in our first turn, like the Cursed Goldland, just so that we can start up our plays. Finally, for the last 2 cards of the deck, we are running 2-Dimensional Barrier. This card is super effective against the Adamancipator matchup, because you have this card set, and they start going off with that Adamancipator plays. You flip this up, and then declare Synchro. They cannot do anything after that. They can perform their link plays, sure, but they cannot Synchro summon. They cannot bring out their big Adamancipators. They cannot bring out Borrowload Savage Dragon. They cannot bring out Nat Beast. this completely wholesome. So, that is it with this deck in particular. Let's go off into the extra deck for this deck, because it's, I'll be honest, as soon as the Extravagance reprint comes out, I'm going to be mostly using that, because our extra deck is Topologics, Yugioh, Decode, and Underclock Taker. Just filler. Because there's no other way that I can actually make an extra deck with this deck for the time being. Side deck, though, I thought to myself of other ways of actually countering graveyard-heavy decks, as well as stuff like Mystic Mine. So this is what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be using 2 Silent Graveyard, because this card negates all activated effects in the graveyard for remainder of that turn. Double Cosmic Cyclone, because Mystic Mine cannot protect itself with this even with Field Barrier. Because Field Barrier states if a field spell would be destroyed, it is not, because Field Barrier has to be destroyed first before the field spell. Cosmic Cyclone, though, strictly says banishes. So, when this card is activated and you see a Mystic Mine, you target the Mystic Mine with this card, bypassing the Field Barrier, automatically killing it in its place, making it near enough impossible to counteract. As well at the same time, 2 Typhoons. Typhoon is in here mainly because you can shotgun it from your hand straight away in your opponent's end phase. That's literally what this card can do. If your opponent has 2 or more spell and trap cards than you do, you can automatically drop this card from your hand and then destroy one of those spell or traps. It's literally amazing. And finally, to round things up, we're running 2 different dimension grounds. Burning Abyss hate this, Emancipator hates this, Invoked hates this, Shaddoll hates this, anything that uses a graveyard hates this. So, that is it. So the overall end goal of this is to attend 1 regionals and have both decks top at least a 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. As soon as either one of them do that, this is what I'm going to be doing afterwards. We're going to have both decks piloted by 2 different people, not myself. And they have to see which one of the decks is the strongest. So, I hope some people that I know are more than up for doing this, because if they are, cool. If not, oh well. But that's what I have in mind for this big finale for this deck. These 2 are going to be raced to be built towards a maximum capacity, and as soon as they get a massive top for themselves, then then afterwards we're going to see which one of these 2 decks were the strongest for the final episode. So, that is it for this episode. And trust me when I say this, I'm going to be enjoying doing the sealed only as soon as everything starts up again. But until next time, I've been a Raging Raven. Oh, I almost forgot. So, with me doing sealed only with this, how will it work? £40 a week is still going. There may be plans to dropping it to £30 a week though, because I'd rather not talk about it. But I'm going to be getting packs that will benefit both decks. For instance, like I mentioned, Battles of Legends, Relentless Revenge, and as well at the same time, the Dual Devastators. So, I can get packs that benefit both decks. However, if I get a certain amount of packs that only benefits one deck, I'm only allowed to get those packs if their maximum value is half of the overall value. So let's say, for instance, I wanted to get something that would benefit Shaddoll, like the packs that have the dangers in it, for instance. I can only get the pack values that would be half of it. However, with the dangers being a generic overall aspect, and I could use them in Eldritch if I wanted to, I can use the full budget on those packs in hope that I do get the dangers. However, I'm just rambling on at that point, so you possibly know where I'm going with this. I can get packs that benefit both decks, however if one pack benefits one deck rather than the other, then I can only use half of that budget towards that in particular product. So, until next time guys, I have been a Raging Raven. If you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel so that you do not miss the sealed only when it returns. I have some more things coming up as well, like an audiobook of a book series that I'm writing. Really hoping that you guys will enjoy it, because a prequel chapter is coming out sometime very soon. And until next time, I bid you all adieu.